Dave or Dave is on the air, and look at who we have here. It's Alex, and yes, she has been assisting us with our handicapping over here. She made some really good picks. Yeah.
Alex, what's your top pick this week? Who's your number one fan? Who's your team in the NFL?
Um,
Oh, I know that
not. I'm not telling. I'm not telling because I don't need that kind of
heat. You just
heat.
want the heat.
They're gonna come after my car in the parking lot around here. I'm dummying up. I'm not saying nothing.
True.
Well, you radiate enough heat. All right, she's
No
here. She's
kidding.
gone.
No.
Yeah.
Although,
Like most of the women in my life. Poof, there she
I,
goes.
I'll just say this much: my elbow right now is in heaven. Anyway, now it's not. Now it's all by itself. Now my elbow is all by itself, but it was momentarily in a very nice place. Okay.
Well, we're both in a very nice place. You on
Well, you're in a very nice place.
the upper Jersey. I'm on the Gulf Coast, and we're looking good. We're feeling good. Daver, you're looking fine. How you doing, my friend?
Hanging in there. I still can't understand that whole thing with that thing I was talking to you about earlier. Like they know what's
Well,
going to happen.
that's all right.
They're not offering you anything because they know you're going down in flames eventually. And
Well, that's DraftKings. We're here to help you against the
I know it's a
DraftKings of
battle.
the
It's a
world.
battle. Sometimes I wonder what's going on. That algorithm is in on some information that even we don't have. But
Well, let's do some algorithms.
right, let's do it.
Are you starting us
You want
out
to
in?
recap a little bit?
Let's do a little recap. Little recap.
All right. So
Um,
the less said about the kickball, the better. You know me. I'm Mr. Draw. I took two sides last week in the Premier League, and they both ended up being draws.
I know you are the Thai king,
Unbelievable. Me,
but that's all
Mr.
right. We're going to keep
Guy, but
kicking in this case. We're going to keep kicking, and we'll get to that. But you were strong in football, very strong.
no college, not in the pro, but in college football, again, 3-2. And I know it doesn't sound very exciting, but if you can do it
Oh,
every week, trust me, guys and gals, 60%, you're laughing all the way to the bank. You're doing better than virtually anyone. 60% does not sound exciting, but it's a winner and
hey,
very difficult game. That's the way to go. So anyway, 3-2 in college for the second week in a row, and we'll take it. Take it.
all right. Well,
How you?
after blasting out of the gate with college, 5-0 a couple weeks ago, 3-2 last week.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like you
Eight
said,
and two overall.
yeah.
Now
Well,
you'll
take
really
that.
take that.
I mean, I felt great. I was 7-0 in Iowa. Tulsa looked strong. I'm like, all right, stop the presses. Came back to down to earth a little bit. Baylor got beat last second field goal. Auburn, I won by the hook. NC State could not stay with Duke. 3-2 of the pros as well. So you know, we're scrapping, Daver. I like it. You got any kickball picks to start us off?
Yeah, yeah. I got a couple, and I'm going back to the Premier League because there's some really good matchups this weekend. And I was going to take three and do that whole thing where if you're getting plus 200 or plus 300 on three games, all you got to do is hit one, and you're happy.
Right. Right.
But I just stuck with the two really terrific matchups in the Premier League this week. And if you hit one, you're very happy. If you hit both, you're dancing. And if you hit neither one of them, you're complaining about the refs. Anyway, um, the first one that I'm looking at is 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. The Premier League, Crystal Palace at home against the top dog, Liverpool. And
Liverpool.
I mean, both these games have draw written all over them. So I'm taking a side on both games, and obviously I'm taking the underdog. And in both games, the underdog happens to be at home. So I'm hoping that the home field advantage will come into play for me
Home
at least once
dogs.
and maybe twice. I'm looking at Crystal Palace against Liverpool, and everybody knows how wonderful Liverpool is. I'm not going to argue against it.
They are.
The Crystal Palace has not lost in the Premier League in 11 games. If they tie or win this game, 12 games in a row without a defeat will be the longest streak that they've had in the Premier League since 1990. As we all know, That's even before I met you. That's 35 years ago. So Crystal Palace is on a really good roll. They're on a great roll
Chi-town.
of the season last year. They were on a great roll at the end of last season. They've had an interesting start to the season. They're unbeaten in 5 games, but they have 3 draws. Another reason why this game kind of has draw written all over them. I'm sure they'd be happy with a draw against Liverpool, but I'm thinking they get the job done. They eke out a narrow victory. Nobody's beating up on Liverpool these days. That's for sure.
No.
But if Crystal Palace can sneak out like a 1-0, I'm not even going to say 2-1. I'm going to say if they're going to win this game, it's probably going to be 1-0, and maybe if they get an extra goal, 2-0, because they've had 5 games. They've got 3 shutouts. They don't call them shutouts over there. They call them clean sheets.
Clean sheets.
Clean sheets.
All right, there you are, baller.
So anyway, but 3.
Good to see you back on your Crystal Palace train.
Yeah,
I know you loved it last year.
Yeah. For anybody who's watched Ted Lasso, they're sort of the team that they patterned the Richmond team in the TV series.
Ted Lasso.
And Crystal Palace, despite the terrible name for the team, still it's a neighborhood in London, and their fans are devoted like they all are. But anyway, it's a unique experience over there, and I'd like to go over there and see a game someday. Anyway, Crystal Palace plus 285 to win the game straight up against Liverpool. I know the draw is very attractive there. It's plus 2 something.
Take that dog. Nice.
I'm taking Palace.
Nice number.
Second game is on Sunday at 11:30 in the morning. Got to get up a little early sometimes to watch soccer in this country. Good soccer. But anyway, we've got Newcastle at home against Arsenal, who have been the second banana in the Premier League for the last couple of years, and it seems like they're just stuck there. I mean, earlier this year they played Liverpool already. They outplayed them all over the field, both halves. Still lost the game 1-0. And I think one of the problems with Arsenal is the inability to score goals. I've got a Newcastle team at home who are playing well, and they have 4 clean sheets out of 5 games. 4 clean sheets on the
board. With the defense.
I know it's Arsenal, but I got Newcastle at home plus 250. So I'm going with the dog. Both games, both at home, both against the top 2 teams in the league, but both teams that are up towards the top of the table in the Premier League. So I'm going to hope at least one of them comes in, and hopefully
both. And that's the beauty of it. You're getting 280 and 250. You just, split it, and you're still winning a nice one. And it looks like a very nice beer that you're drinking.
The only way I'm it's just actually, this is from your old neck of the woods, San Diego. Stone, delicious.
I think I had a couple of stones there.
Unofficial spot
San Diego.
Unofficial spot for the Dave and Dave show. Hopefully soon to come on board as an official spot. Okay.
We're working on it, JJ.
Let's move on to.
All right.
How about college?
Go to the gridiron. Yeah. You got anything tonight?
You know what? I had 2 games picked tonight, and I crossed them both off.
Aye.
Yeah. So you go. You got anything tonight?
I do. I certainly do.
Oh, you should have just jumped in there.
Well, Tallahassee's 2 hours north, but I'm liking the home team tonight. I'm liking the Virginia Cavaliers. I got it at plus 7.5, and I got it early. I think it's a touchdown, or I think it's down to 6.5.
It's 7 now. Yeah, I got plus 7.
All right, that's fine. They're playing home against a really surprisingly strong Florida State team. They're number 8. I'm not sure about these rankings. I'm really not sure, and I know you have your doubts.
Alabama on the road. I mean,
well, yes,
count for something,
but it does count for something. It counts that Bama has, I think they're a little weak this year. All right, if you want to put your rocks on that side, but on my side,
no.
I love this new QB they got from North Texas. I'm speaking of the Virginia Cavaliers. He looks tough. He really, their offense looks really strong. And I just think Florida State's a little bit overrated. So we're going to take the Cavs. It's going to be their toughest opponent so far in this early season. But I'll take the TD at home any day. And Florida State, their first road game. So we'll see what happens. But go with the Virginia Cavs tonight, getting the points against Florida State.
I had the cadavers written down here, and that's one of the teams that I scratched off. I had Virginia.
All right.
Biggest thing to me is, why is this line so low? Why is it so low? Because Virginia's got some talent.
Yes, they do.
That game to NC State, that is bugging me a little bit.
Yes.
But if they play the same kind of game here with Florida State, a shootout, maybe they stay within that number. Hope they do. I
appreciate that. I appreciate it.
I was looking for some history here because, could have caught Florida State last year on an unbelievably down year, but no, they didn't play. They were scheduled to play in 2020. The game was postponed, obviously, all the COVID shit and everything going on. They haven't played since 2019. They're in the same conference.
Yeah. Well, there's so many teams now,
How is that possible? But there's not as many in the ACC as there are in these other crazy fucking conferences.
True. That's true. Well,
they haven't played since 2019. How is that possible to be in the same conference for the team? And I used to love it. The always played everybody every year. And then when
every year,
where you missed every once in a while, I really didn't like that at all. This is absurd. It might as well not even be a conference. You're in the same conference with a team, and you haven't played them since almost a decade ago. Anyway, that pisses me off. I like Virginia. I like your pick. All right. I guess it's me, huh? All right.
It's all you, baby. It's all you.
ACC, although one of these teams is not really an ACC team. But anyway, I'm actually looking at this game a lot because the local bias here is like all of a sudden everybody's talking about how great Syracuse is. And I guess that's because they beat Clemson. Well, I don't know. Have anybody been watching these Clemson games?
Ugly.
They're terrible. They're terrible. They're going to lose a few more before the end of the season. And people criticizing Dabo Swinney, that's insane. A team has been so good for so long. Not this year. They stink. They were getting their ass handed to them by Troy, who then turned around and got their ass handed to them by something. I can't remember who. But anyway, I think everybody's way too gung-ho on Syracuse. A little bit of a look past a good Duke team here at home. Interesting that Duke is laying the points here, yet everybody in this neck of the woods is on Syracuse. Popular dog. I'm taking Duke -4 against Syracuse.
It's a good pick because NC State gave them all they could handle. And Duke kept coming back last week. NC State, who I had, one of my losses, they kept coming back. They kept coming back even in the score. And then this Duke poured it on in the fourth quarter, played some tough D, and I think they won by 10. I was impressed. I thought I had a winner, but I was impressed with the way
team
Duke.
that Florida State has to worry about down the road.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they play, but if they do, they might have to worry.
No, Duke looks good this year. All right, well, I'm sticking around tonight, but I'm going with going a little south. I'm going with the Cougs, the Cougars from Houston. I'm laying a big number, -12.5. But they're playing the Beavers of Oregon State. Oh my God! Look at this Houston offense. I was all over them against Colorado and nervous beforehand. They blew out Colorado. They blew out my lovable Rice. They've outscored opponents, 98-29 so far. This is a powerful offense, but where they don't get credit is their D. They have 6 turnovers already. They play really tough. What concerns me a little bit is them coming out of the bye. The last year out of the bye, they lost their 2 games coming out of a bye week. So the coach has addressed it. He's on top of it. I don't think the Beavers travel well. I don't even think they play well at home. But lay the big number. Houston Cougars -12.5 against the Beavers from Oregon State.
Okay, Houston. I wrote down BYU, and I know BYU plays Colorado. That's what I was thinking we were going to have to edit this show. But anyway, you said Houston. All I heard was Cougars. I was like,
Oh, sorry.
meanwhile, you
Sorry.
played Colorado. I'm looking through the schedule going, oh, shit.
A lot of Cougars running around. This town as well. There's many Cougars. I keep ducking,
Hey,
but
they're all Cougars down by you.
yeah, yeah.
All right. Now moving on. And one of the reasons why I had to scratch off a couple games on Friday night was because there's so many interesting matchups.
Definitely.
Saturday. I decided to go with, some of the bigger games. One game isn't that huge, but even that game has a top 20 team in it. But the first one I'm looking at is a matchup between number one, Ohio State, going on the road, play Washington, they were laying more. Yesterday I saw 9.5. Today I'm seeing 8.5, but still, I'm going with the dog. I'm going with Washington. This game reminds me a lot about early season game last year where Ohio State had to go out and play Oregon. And hey, maybe they were the better team, but they struggled and they lost. And I think that this Washington team is for real. I do. I know it's weird, these Big Ten matchups where these teams have to travel, 2,000 miles to play games and shit. But hey, that's the new college football.
That's a new Big Ten.
What it is. So Ohio State, to their misfortune, I really think, is that another thing, Ohio State's number one. They won it all last year. Yes, they lost some great players. But that big game at the beginning of the season, that ain't looking so good right now because Texas isn't looking so good. So anyway,
terrible. That was going to be my point for sure.
Ohio State obviously has to be ranked where they are as long as they don't lose. I think they might lose this one. I love the 8.5 points. I'm taking Washington plus 8.5 against Ohio State.
Yeah, I think Washington's going to surprise some people. They don't get any press. And certainly Ohio State did not look like world beaters
Last
against
year,
Texas.
everybody took Oregon lightly in that game.
Yeah.
They beat them. I think and Oregon's good again this year too. And I'll talk about them later. But anyway, Washington, the pride, the two teams that are the pride of the Pac-10, still holding the banner of the Pac-10.
Yeah, they're holding on
Washington
strong.
can at least still play football. Most of the others, no. I mean, have you seen UCLA this year? Oh my God! I mean, they are bad. They're really bad. Anyway, let's go Washington. I got two more Pac-10 teams coming. Holy shit. Okay. All right. Your turn.
All right. Third pick. I'm going to the SEC for a little showdown. I'm taking the fave here. I like Texas A&M, the Aggies, against Auburn. I won last week on the hook with Auburn. But it's Auburn's second road game in a row, which I always look for. And they should have beat Oklahoma. Not only did the refs beat them, but just silly penalties, mistakes, turnovers. I didn't like either of those teams. Neither Auburn or Oklahoma coming out of that game. The QB for Auburn looks timid. He looks vulnerable.
Oklahoma guy's out for the year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
A&M's got a great defensive line. Huge win. I'm a little worried about, that huge win at the last moment against Notre Dame, who I think is vulnerable as well.
Yes, so do I.
But they've been able to regroup with a bye week after a big game. SEC showdown, lay the 6.5. I think they're going to come out and crush Auburn. So that's Texas A&M minus 6.5 against Auburn. My third pickerini.
All right. We're moving right along.
We're moving.
My next game, I'm going with another team, formerly from the Pac-10, Pac-12, Pac-8. Oh, no. The two Arizona schools are what made the Pac-8 the Pac-10. So anyway, former Pac-10 team, powerhouse in basketball, occasionally has some fairly decent football teams down there. And I'm looking at the Arizona Wildcats. They are traveling. They are going to Iowa State, which is a ranked team. One of their wins, though, that has them in the top 20 was that early game against Kansas State, which ain't looking so good right now either.
In Ireland.
State sucks. Yeah.
Terrible.
They were a little lucky to win that game.
Hey.
Arizona is the underrated team. I think there's a reason why they're only getting, less than a touchdown. That not only is this going to be a tight one, but maybe even an Arizona victory. I'm taking Arizona Wildcats plus 6 against a slightly overrated.
I like that.
I would say.
Yeah, we're both
You
a
used
little
the
down
word
on.
earlier. You used the word overrated when
Yeah.
you're talking about somebody
We
earlier.
both won
Um,
with Iowa State beating Kansas State, but
these are
yeah,
the weeks.
yes,
You look
we
for the
figured it
teams that
out
are
that the
overrated, underrated, right? Because you
right,
can't say that in the first
right,
couple of games. You really can't. It's like you see a few things play out. You can look at history. You can look at what you think they're coming back with from that last year. Although these teams have so many changes these days, they're a little tough to keep track of. But anyway, now you're getting a little bit of sense who's overrated, who's underrated. In this
right.
case, I think we have an
Little bit,
overrated
little
Iowa
bit.
State team against an underrated Arizona team. So I'm taking Arizona plus the 6.
All right, all right. Well, I got a common thread in there. I'm leaning toward the Red Wolves. Can you tell me where the Red Wolves are from? Probably not. This is off the radar.
The Red
Uh,
Wolves, yeah,
the
they're like
Red,
the Southern Alabama. Or no, those are
uh,
the
kind of in that area.
Red
The Red Wolves from Arkansas
Arkansas
State.
State. I knew that. I knew that.
I
I knew that.
knew that.
Damn it.
They're playing in Louisiana versus Louisiana Monroe. Yeah, the Wolves have played a tough
Wow.
schedule. They got rocked by their buddies across the street there at Arkansas. They
Yeah,
got rocked
Arkansas is
big,
really good.
but they played Iowa State tough, and we're just talking about Iowa State. They put up 400 yards against this Cyclone defense that was supposed to be so good. We know they have weaknesses now, but only a late TD by Iowa State beat them. They're playing much softer here. Louisiana Monroe got blitzed by Alabama. A couple of cupcake wins. It kind of inflates their record to 2-1. I'll take the 2.5 on the road. Go with the Red Wolves from Arkansas State. Take the points.
Right. A quick question:
Yep.
are you picking on the Notre Dame Arkansas game? Is that one of your picks? That game?
No, it's not.
And then we're both in agreement on that one. We both like Arkansas. I'm sure.
Right.
I'm not taking it either.
100%.
But we both like Arkansas. And another reason why you kind of like Arkansas State getting pounded by Arkansas. Yeah, that's because Arkansas is one of the best teams in the country. So
I agree.
certainly a top 20 team.
They definitely should have won their
Yeah,
two
they should have.
losses. They shot
Yeah.
themselves in the foot
Yeah, they
twice.
did. Yeah, they
And
did.
I'm going to
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
on that game. It's just not my top 5.
Exactly. Same here. Same here. I didn't put them in the top 5, but I'm all over Arkansas against Notre Dame. All right, that's a bonus
The
for
Razorbacks.
all you Dave and Dave fans. All right, moving on.
Move it.
Looking at we got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm down to my 5th pick. Okay, big game, huge game. Been a big game the last few years in the SEC.
Uh-oh.
The top 2
Uh-oh.
teams.
Here we go.
Taking Alabama +3
Oh.
against Georgia. Not a believer in Georgia. And I am thinking that Alabama loss at the beginning of the season of Florida State really ain't that bad because Florida State's awfully good. And plus, it was your first game out of the blocks. A lot of times, you don't even really see the real team in the first couple of games of the college football season. You really don't have any idea what they're about. I like what I see from the quarterback. I mean, they took Wisconsin. I know Wisconsin's not any good, but still, they toyed with them. I just think that this is, I'm going to be talking about this a lot. Teams descending. I think Georgia is the team that's dropping more. I know you said earlier that you think Alabama's dropping off, but I think Georgia's dropping off more this year than Alabama. And some other teams are going to emerge out of the SEC that are tougher than both of these guys. So, taking Alabama +3 against Georgia should be a great game. Great game.
It should be a great game. And afterwards, somebody's going to get a pizza.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. We're going head to head, folks.
Good.
And this is what we do. We don't know each other's picks beforehand, so it doesn't come as a surprise. I knew you liked Alabama, but I didn't know it was one of your top 5.
Yeah, it's a great game.
It's going to be a
probably not
great
one of
game.
my top 5 picks.
Yeah.
Of course,
But look at that spread. I mean, that should tell you right there that Alabama got a lot of respect because that Georgia victory against Tennessee, I mean, you got to admire the fighting, the scrapping. They hung around versus
they
the
did it.
Vols.
They got it.
Yes.
They got it done, but they were getting.
But did they look,
quite a while,
like the old Georgia of the past? No, they didn't. But I think it's going to be a great game. I think Kirby Smart is going to be pissed off at their defense because they gave up 41 points to a really tough Tennessee team. I look for, Georgia to bounce back on defense, and their running attack was totally, for me, a huge surprise against Tennessee. I mean, they ran the ball at will, especially in the fourth quarter. So I'll lay the 2.5. I got it early. If you want to lay the 3, I understand it, but I got
I'm
it
taking
early
the
because I
three.
jumped on it,
Taking the three because
and
that's where it is. It's 3 right
it's
now.
at 3. Okay. Well, I got it at 2.5, but I think lay the 3 as well. Georgia, it's going to be a tough game on the road, but I think they're more talented than the Crimson Tide. So we're going for a pizza. Abbondanza. Molto bene.
All right, pizza on the line, and a big game it is.
All right. It'll
We
be fun.
can even go head to head on this one. Last game in college. I am looking at another big battle in the Big Ten. A couple of great games, but this is Oregon going to Penn State.
Oh, tough one.
3 and a hook. I love the hook. I love the hook here. I think they're going to win the game straight up, obviously. But anyway, I think Oregon, yes, they lost their quarterback, but hey, he was a midget, and I think they've replaced him adequately, maybe even better. And that happens a lot in college, where they're talking about how wonderful the quarterback is. And the next guy who stepped in is actually a better player. One of the reasons why I'm doing this is Penn State. It just seems like every time they have a good team, they've had many good teams over the last 10, 20 years, but every time they have a big game in the Big Ten, they figure out a way to lose it.
Right.
Here, I don't even have to have them lose it. I just have to stay within in the 3.5, and I'm figuring they are going to figure out a way to lose this game against
Oregon's tough.
They do it every time they play Ohio State, Michigan, since they joined the Big Ten. I mean, they haven't had too many seasons where they emerged as the top team, even though they've had some excellent teams. I like their coach. I think I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe I'm starting to think that a lot of these close losses in these big games are, he's partially or maybe a lot to blame. Taking Oregon plus 3.5 against Penn State.
Yeah, I like the Ducks there. Long way to travel, but Penn State doesn't seem to have that bite they had last year on defense, especially. But we'll see. That's going to be a tough game. Well, that concludes our college picks. You want to start us off with the pros, or you want me to?
No, I don't.
Okay, all right.
Did you have a winner Thursday?
Winner chicken dinner. I did not. I had the Cards last night. 2 terrible, lousy teams. We were both rooting for them to go for 2 because we knew that, please, and miss. Because we didn't want to see overtime or sure enough, 55 seconds later, and
scoring, getting the ball with 30 seconds left and scoring. Yeah,
I was an idiot.
Come all the way back from down 14 to just piss it away.
Yeah,
Stop the team in 30 seconds. Yeah,
at home.
NFL. And I don't mean to demean a game that we're hoping that people are interested in. We know the people that put money on these games. It's important to them. But I don't know. Sometimes I get disgusted with the way, 17 seconds left in a playoff game and a team scores points. I mean, come on. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's designed that way. It's designed to allow the offenses to pretty much have their way.
This new kicking bullshit. You got the ball at the 40-yard line.
But just get rid of it.
Right.
Just get rid of it. Just give the other team at the 25-yard. Okay.
Exactly.
Maybe the 20 is too far for you. You get a little scared. 80 yards, you can't do it. Just give the goddamn team the ball at the 25-yard line. Let's get on with it. Get rid of the kickoffs.
All right. Well, let's start off the NFL. 3-2 last week. It looked bad. I was 0 for 2 in the morning, but rally cap, and the Lions topped it off on Monday night. This week, I'm heading just a little bit further south, down 95 here. I could go 75 as well. Tampa Bucks. I'll tell you, I mean, they should have lost last week. You probably should have my head examined for taking them this week. But Todd Bowles has an excellent record against Philly. And the biggest part of it is, Philly should have lost, obviously, against the Rams, that block kick. They should have the reason to lose against Dallas. But if the Bucks are going to prove that they're, a member of the elite, here it is. I mean, here it is. You're home. You're against Philly. Uh, Baker Mayfield with two top wide receivers. I'm a little bit nervous about their D, but the Philly weaknesses in the secondary were exposed last week with the Rams. Rams should have won that game. Take Tampa. I got 3.5. So I'll take the Bucks at home against the mighty Eagles for my opener.
Well, my words to you are
Pizza.
I know you're going to think pizza.
Oh my God.
No, you pick again, because my first pick of the day was the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, beautiful,
For
beautiful.
a lot of the same reasons that you just stated very clearly. Yeah, I think that Tampa Bay is probably one of the weakest 3-0 teams I think I've ever seen, but they're figuring out a way. And they're not exactly playing a team that's been playing gangbusters. I mean, they should have lost that first game to the Cowboys, in my opinion. Didn't look all that good in really any of these games. Well, obviously should have lost last week. I mean,
Yes.
should have lost that one.
We were crying
Even
green
should have
tears,
lost the game in
crying.
Kansas City. It is conceivable
Yeah.
that the Eagles could be 0-3. They're 3-0. And they are the defending Super Bowl champs. We'll give them a little bit of a pat on the ass for that one. But you know what? I'm taking my chances with a team that just keeps figuring it out. The Tampa Bay Bucks. And we're getting a few points. So I like it. I like it. Okay, you go again.
And we're over the 3. All right.
7-minute warning.
Okay, the Raiders. I'm going with the Raiders. I'm not saying the Raiders are good, but don't tell me that the Bears are back because, they beat up on Dallas at home. They're back on the road where they struggle. Yeah. I think Gentry's going to have a good game. Maybe not a great game against a decent Bear D, but enough to, maybe do some play action and open up the pass game as well, where I think the Bears do struggle. And speaking of struggling, Caleb Williams struggles on the road. Lay the 1 versus the Bears Raiders in Sin City.
Okay. And that was almost one of my picks, because did you have problems coming up with 5 picks in the NFL this
Yes.
week? I don't think I was having problems coming up with 2.
I got 3, and my last 2 are just kind of I threw them
I'm
into
just
the
looking
hat.
at schedule like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Maybe this.
That's
maybe
funny you
that,
say
I
that.
can't
Yeah.
even really explain it.
All right, let's hit it.
You know what? I don't even know if I could come up with 2, because even my next one is a goofy pick. I was so torn on these spreads and the value or lack thereof value on these point spreads. I actually took a total on one game. That's going to be one of those picks later on.
All right.
Next pick though is New England -5.5 against Carolina, and that is purely because I actually think, despite crazy turnovers against Pittsburgh, which, oh my God.
Yeah.
New England should have had that game.
No, I had New England. Yeah, that sunk me. Yeah. They had that game.
They better take care of the ball here. But I just feel that Carolina is coming off this insane 30-0 victory. Who knows what happened at Atlanta in that game? It just didn't show up. I don't see it as a continuing trend of Carolina excellence. I see it more as a complete fluke. And I think that the better team at home, coming off a tough loss, which they should have won, taking New England -5.5 over Carolina. I don't like favorites, but I'm taking this one.
Yes. Well, I'm in the same strain, not with New England, but against Atlanta. I mean, I like the road dog, not loving it. These next 2 games. My Monday night game I like, but this game I'm taking the Commanders +2. Mariota looked strong enough last week, and Atlanta,
guys won games in the NFL.
Yep.
A lot of them.
And Atlanta just mailed it in. I mean, they look terrible. Their QB Penix is struggling. I think Washington D has improved enough to at least outlast the Falcons. Doesn't matter on the road. Take the dog. I got the Redskins over the Falcones. Take the 2.
4-minute warning. The next game I'm looking at, just because it's an interesting game, I just feel like between two teams that are supposed to be at the very top of football, never mind their conference, but it's top of football, who are both 1-2. And one of them's going to be 1-3 after this game. I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs against Baltimore, which is Baltimore is figuring out ways to lose these games. And Kansas City, they lost their games. Okay, they were in it. They didn't get blown out against San Diego. The Chargers. They didn't get blown out against the Chargers. They didn't get blown out against the Eagles. They just lost. But Baltimore is pissing these games away. I'm looking at them pissing away another one. They're on the road. They're in KC, tough place. Chiefs back to the wall. I'll take Andy Reid and the Chiefs back to the wall plus 2.5. I bet.
All right.
You're up.
Well, I'm taking a road dog for my fourth pick. I got the Rams going against your Danny Dimes. You love them now. You got your jersey, so you better hold on to it because it's going to reduce in value. Still smarting from that last blocked field goal of the Eagles. McVay is going to have these guys ready. Right? Yeah, pardon me?
Rams are home, right?
Rams are at home. I apologize.
Yeah.
Danny Dimes is on the road. Rams are at home. Rams laying 3.5. I like that secondary to keep Danny in check. A little nervous about their running attack, but Rams bounce back, lay the 3.5. Rams over Colts.
They just cranked up the speakeasy music here. Anyway, all right, cool. 2-minute warning. Okay, we are coming to the aforementioned total. I just can't. Some of these spreads are just so crazy. These teams.
Lay it on us, brother.
Okay, I'm going Green Bay, Dallas over. I'm traditionally an under guy. I like to look for a couple of decent defenses. Like last night. I thought last night was a dead under, and then scored points at the end of that. I don't even know whether that game ended up over or under, but there were a hell of a lot more points scored in it than should have been scored in it. I know that. And it gets old playing unders in the NFL these days. You can have one that looks golden and
you might have had a heart attack.
Bing, bing, points here, points there. Green Bay, Dallas over 47.5. Dallas can't stop anybody. Green Bay a little frustrated over last week's game against the Browns defense. I think they score a shitload, and I think Dallas has some weapons, so I think they get there too. But I'm pegging Green Bay for definitely 30 points in this game. If I get 20 out of Dallas, then I guess we're good. It's a big total, 47.5 over Green Bay, Dallas.
Okay. All right, last D&D pick.
Gotta fly.
All right, D&D pick. I'm trying to fly, but you're talking. Yeah. Broncos -7. They're going to rock Cincinnati. Cincinnati looked really terrible against the Vikes. I don't see them bouncing back in any way or form. Lay the touchdown. Broncos over Bengals in the Monday night capper.
Interesting. I was looking at that one too, and just the Broncos haven't looked that great this year, but
Bo Nix,
you're on the right track there.
Yeah, he's got to bounce back. I mean, he's looked terrible, and I think
last pick, Jets, Jets on Monday night. I know you love them, you love them.
I love them.
Up against Miami, and this is more of an anti-Miami pick than a pro Jets. If the Jets are going to have any improvement this year, this is the kind of game you at least have to be competitive in and maybe win. So that's going to do it for Dave.